Hello everybody, it's Elena. Sorry for the guest. He's one of the worst mannered cats of my army. He's so sweet. His name is Lowy, which is short for Halloween. He's 7 years old. And say hi, Lowy. Lowy, yeah. Well, this is not what I want to show you, but here he is. And so what I'd like to share with you instead, apart from the cat, is the project I made in the month of October. It took me ages to accomplish it because, as many of you know, I haven't been feeling well at all and I'm still not 100%. But in any case, I managed to finish my project 2 days ago. So, at first I thought about making a Halloween fabric book, something more elegant than the one I made last year. It was my very first fabric book, and it was mostly fun because it was all orange with Jack Skellington and all. So I wanted to make a more elegant one, but then I changed my mind, and instead of making a Halloween fabric book, I thought about a person in the crafting community, and I made a goth fabric book especially for this person to send her as a gift. And I don't know if many of you have already guessed who this person is. In any case, now I'm showing you the book I made. And I must say that I didn't want a goth book, yes, but I didn't want at the beginning to use very dark images like cemeteries, ravens and all, even though I could have done that. But I didn't know exactly if skeletons and skulls and everything would have been welcomed. So I decided to go for fantasy images I found on Pinterest. Now, before I show you the fabric book, let me feed this creature, or I will never be able to go to the end of this video. See you in a minute. Hello, I'm back. I fed the cat, who's now sleeping, and I'm ready to show you my goth fabric book, and I hope the person who will receive it will like it. So, first of all, the only thing I want to mention about how I built the pages is exactly how I built the pages. So, let me untie it. I put some grey ribbon to tie it. And I watched the video by Pampered Petals. Her name is Liquita. And she was just talking about 2 different ways of putting together fabric books. And she talked about, it wasn't a tutorial, well, I mean, yes, it was a sort of a tutorial for another way of putting together a fabric book, the way I've most of the time used for my fabric books, but I realized that the other way she mentioned, with gussets between the pages, works better for my fabric books because they are overloaded with embellishments, and the kind of putting them together I used so far gave a narrow spine, and it opened like this, like a triangle. In this case, instead, I left gussets between the pages, so the spine is as thick as the book, even without tying it. So I realized then that it was impossible for me to glue the page together. I mean, to glue the pages, the couple of pages here, because I didn't know a way to use glue and leave the gussets as well. So, for the first time in my life, I hand sewn the pages together. And luckily you can see how the stitches are. They are awful, because they are all covered, but I can guarantee and I promise that the pages won't come apart. The stitches were just ugly, and that's it, because my sewing machine still doesn't work. I've lost the main little feet, and I can't find it because the brand of my sewing machine is almost unknown. So let me tell you how I decorated the 2 main the first and the last page. I've used some black satin coming from a blouse of mine I dismantled because it was too tight for me. And I dismantled 4 garments, 4 pieces of cloth, and I will show you as I progress in the description. And then, so I covered them all with black satin and this beautiful lace on top. And all around the 4 sides I added this beautiful trim. It is made with satin and some lace all around. And then I left the back plain because there are already too many embellishments in the book. Well, too many. This is the way I like fabric books. For many it could be overkill, but in any case I tried to make visible every layer of lace and trim I put on the book. So the first page, all the images come from Pinterest, like I said, and the first one is blurred on purpose because it shows a lady walking in the mist followed by her wolf. I just added this beautiful tiny AB bling to mimic a lantern showing her path. Then actually this page was very simple to build, to embellish, sorry, because I just added this beautiful rosettes. They come from a strip of rosettes and some trim in an asymmetrical way with some light pink pearl just to brighten up the page a bit. And then I just added this beautiful applique. It already came with sequins and beads and 3 pebbles. So these pebbles, I've been having them for, I bought them in the 90s because it was very popular to fill vases, glass vases with pebbles of different colors. They are not cabochons, with different colors, and put and stick there some excuse me, some dry flowers. So I still have the pebbles. They came in various colors. So here I've used, they're transparent, but here I've used the purple ones. Excuse me again. Well, all the dangles and trim at the bottom of the book and the laces all around, but for 1 page are all black, because black is the main color for a goth book, in my opinion. And just notice another thing I want to point out for the first page, for the cover page, sorry, is this stick pin. Unfortunately I can't take it out because I glued it in place because it kept falling off. And it is a little skull. I made it with a little skull to which I added 2 little blings used for nail art, and then I wrapped around some tiny lace, tiny black lace, as if it had a veil, a morning veil or something. And then we go to the page inside. Okay, so this is a pocket page. I've made it after I made it this way after I watched the video by Jean Rugg, and she made a diagonal page which can hold more. It is a cool idea. So to build this page, it took me quite a long time to build this page because the felt underneath is white. I wanted to conceal it, so I used 2 layers of this beautiful lace with velvety and sparkly flowers, and it was gifted to me by Sue Tansey in her last rack. And for the page, for the pocket, sorry, I built it in black satin. Then I wanted it not to be too black, but to be grey black. So I added a layer of grey lace which comes from a shawl I dismantled. This is the hem of the shawls with the dangles I glued in place. I added it here, and then underneath there's still another piece of this wonderful lace Sue gifted me. I cut from the lace a flower here. Oh my, there are so many glue strings. I have to get rid of them, of course, before sending it away, sending this book away. And then I added just a white applique to lighten up the page. I added some pearls, and as you can see all around there is this trim that picks up the colors of the page because it is white, a sort of grey and black. I made this rolled rose out of ribbon and this tassel using two different kind of I don't know how you call them. They are like, I know the name in Italian. I don't know the name in English. It is like a cord for tapestry and upholstery. It is silver and grey, and I tied it with some black lace and added a string of bling. Then the other page has a black angel. I think she's dancing, and I added this bling in the center of her dress, and I picked up the colors of the background using this. So this that I use for the flower is the same material I've used to cover the page, and then I put some lace on, some black lace on, because I didn't want the page to be too loud. Well, maybe it already is, but I didn't want this bright color to stand out, so I covered it with lace. And around the picture I framed it with this gorgeous metallic trim. They're just metal, it's just metal, and it's wonderful because you can bend it the way you want. Then I tucked some gathered light blue trim. I made the shabby flower using some lace, some black lace, and this piece of I cut out from the piece of cloth, and a doily and a little piece of doily and blue pebble, and I just added something. This is cream, this is white, just to brighten up the page a bit. And here I created an angle with vintage, genuine vintage lace. It is black, and I just added this string of pearls. And when I was at the seaside, I bought many meters of these pearls because they came €1 for 2 meters. So I bought many strings in different colors because it was really bargain. It was a little shop I found. And in the gusset here, like I said, there's a gusset. I added 2 strips of dark grey rosettes. And as you can see, with the gusset inside, between the pages, I can close and open and nothing gets squashed. This is why I say it is the best way to build up a fabric book for me. Then we go to this page, and it has a dark fairy, dark lady. I think she could be a priestess of some order, or a sorceress maybe, and she has an owl on her shoulder and a very bright lantern here, teal. It's teal. The main colors are light blue and teal and green. So I decided, and some gold here. So I made these 2 rolled roses, and this one is made with how can I say, chiffon, and this one is organza. And then I framed the picture with this beautiful Chinese braid, and the fabric underneath is dark green with a pattern of black flowers, and I didn't add any lace to it because it was already dark, and comes from another blouse of mine I dismantled. I added a little bow here, some trims above, and a little transparent pebble. No, this is a light blue pebble. And then I wanted to give a touch of gold, well, a touch, way more than a touch, some gold. I used this gold applique. It's golden, it's black and gold, and I cut this piece and this other piece. They came from the same applique. They come from the same applique, sorry, and I put it here. I didn't want everything to be symmetrical, not because I don't like symmetrical things, but because it's really difficult for me to make symmetrical projects. And so I let the fantasy go, and I added things here, I add things here and there, and the page here has a ruffle that comes from the blouse I dismantled, and the same here, there's some ruffle too. In the center of the two pages I put this beautiful trim, and it picks up all the colors of the different pages I made. There's dark, it's like burgundy, there's green, and then there's gold, and so it picks up all the colors I've used. I let it longer than the pages here, and here, where is it? Here I made a little cluster of charms, and there is just one I want to point out, which is this one. I hope you can see it, because my zoom doesn't seem, my remote doesn't seem to cooperate today. I hope you can see it. It's this one, and I used a tiny bottle with the cork top. I wrapped it. Where is it? Oh, I wrapped it with a thin wire. It is the wire for beadwork. I wrapped it. I glued the wire to the cork and then hooked it to this chain. And there are tiny seed beads inside to look like a vial of blood. Then this page is my favorite one. The image, probably because I didn't overdo it. I don't know. So there's an image of a dragon, to which I just added some blings for nail art, the tiny ones, and I finished it off just using this sort of braid and nothing else, because this page was already too rich. And I decorated it with a metal piece. With a filigree piece. I wanted it to be the color it was. I didn't want to emboss it in black or some other colors. And they just a purple pebble, a black pearl. I made this rolled rose, which is similar to the color of the fabric I used underneath. This is from another blouse, is satin from another blouse of mine I dismantled, and I covered all the fabrics, but this one, which was already too dark, this green one, with something, with lace or netting, because I didn't want the color to be the color of the fabric to be the main part of the book. In this case I've used nettings with little sparkle in, and there's the very same trim all around. It came really handy, this one. And I've used this eyelash trim, which has an odd shape. I didn't cut it this way. I cut a piece that already had this peak, just to finish off the top of the image, and then I added this beautiful trim. It's purple and green and light green, and I was surprised by how the colors go well together, because as I was working I chose things of different colors, and I found out they were well together, although they are different shades. And then I added this gorgeous beaded trim in light purple. I hope you can see it. And I made, I don't know if it is this page or the next. No, it's the next. So this is it for this page. And I just put something here. Just some. It is chiffon, black chiffon, and it comes from another blouse too. And the next page. This is very loud, although I didn't intend to make it so loud. Also because the loud color is just this one, but I like it nonetheless. And then it was really simple to make. I put some light lavender fabric, lavender satin underneath, and just so I think in the camera this looks a lot like blue, or so it is what I see in the screen. Actually it is a rich lavender color, but I don't know why in the screen I see it like blue. Well, we'll see in the video when I publish it, and when I edit it we'll see the color that comes up. I added just some, there were some planets, like planets here, so I added some crystals, then 2 more rosettes of the same strip, and this one I didn't make the white one. Some more ruffle from the blouse, and as you can see, pebbles and the usual black trim underneath. I framed it with this and just some really tiny black trim, and I wanted it raised here like a frame, like a 3-dimension frame. I left like this on purpose, and then I wanted I had this butterfly, but I didn't want it to lay flat, so I glued it to a metal butterfly, and then I bent the wings of the metal butterfly so it's more dimensional. And then I created some beadwork here, and there are 4. I like threading beads, so there are 4. Oops, sorry. There are 4 strands of beads, and one is silver with a crystal, then the other one is light purple with a black pearl. This one is black with a light purple, light lavender, resin piece, and the last one, where is it, is black, and then I put a skull at the end of it. And then finally we've reached the last page, which is another pocket page. This time is made as a what I call conventional pocket page. Well, this is, I put the same light, no, I didn't put anything underneath, so the white of the felt shows, but since it's covered with this lace, it seems like a light grey. And then I added some lace, scalloped lace, in grey scalloped lace here, just added another piece of ruffle from the blouse, and some trims here and there, and this strip of rosettes to finish off the pocket, and here too. And then I made this flower gathering some black trim, and then this I put a touch of pink. I don't know why, but I like it, probably because there's some pink here, but I felt like putting some pink. And I made this rolled rose too, also made this one that I put in the center of the other rosette. And then I added just another piece of hem of the shawl I dismantled. A bow made with satin black ribbon and a blue pebble. It is very dark blue. So, and just the last thing, well, you see beads here, you see, yes, beads, pearls, they're made of glass, all of them here. And then I just added a touch of creepiness, which is a skull, a bronze skull, to which I just added 2 crystals for eyes. And this is it. Thanks a lot. Well, I tied it, like I said. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope the person who will receive it as a gift will like it and treasure it. But what I'm sure is that I made it with love, and I enjoyed a lot making this kind of project because I love goth. Although I found it very, very difficult to work with a glue gun and black laces and trims, because you have strings and it shows, everything wrong shows through black trims and lace. So thanks a lot for watching, have a wonderful day, and see you next time. Bye bye.